Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ian Knows Weird. So today we are going to learn the double and the triple or treble crochet. These are all in US terminology, and so that's important to note if you live outside of the US. There are corresponding stitches for each of these, but we're going to learn the double first, and then we're going to learn the treble or triple. So I made a slip stitch, not a slip stitch, sorry, a slip knot on my hook, messing up already. And I'm going to crochet, I'm going to chain 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm using a larger hook than recommended, just so I can show a little bit easier how to do this, and you can see the openings of the stitches a little bit easier. So just like when we did the single crochet and we did 1 turning chain, for the double we're going to do 2. And again, this is just about creating that height so that all of our stitches are the same height. Sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't, depends on what you're making. So we are going to go into the 3rd loop from the hook. And we're going to do something a little bit different than what we've done before. We are going to yarn over before we even go into that loop. So we're going to yarn over and go into the 3rd loop from the hook. And then you're going to yarn over once you're through the hook, through the loop, and you're going to pull through that loop. So now you're going to have 3 loops on that hook. So next we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go through 2 of the loops. So you should have 2 loops on the hook now, and 2 that you just went through. And then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to go through the second 2 loops, and that creates your double crochet. So let's try it again. Now that we've already built up, we don't need to do any more, skipping stitches or whatever. We can go right into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over before you go into the stitch, right to left. So yarn over, right to left, and you're going to go into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over, right to left, and you're going to pull through. So now you have 3 loops on the hook. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through just 2. You're going to yarn over, you're going to pull through the last 2. And see how these stitches are taller than the single crochet stitches that we did. So each stitch has its own height. There are charts that show how the height of each stitch, and this can be really helpful when you're pattern making or when you're just getting to know the stitches, so that you can kind of know how tall these stitches will be, again, really helpful with pattern design. So we're gonna yarn over, go through the next loop, we're going to yarn over, pull through the next loop, or pull through the same loop, sorry, and then we're gonna yarn over, and we're only going to go through 2. We're going to yarn over, and we're only going to go through 2. So that is how you double crochet. So it creates this nice beautiful post, and there are also pictures of like the diagrams of like the anatomy of certain stitches. And there are certain stitches, like let's say you wanted to do ribbing, there are certain stitches that use the post of these stitches to create ribbing, all those types of things. So learning the anatomy of a stitch is really helpful, knowing what part to go through and what part not to go through, or, you know, depending on what you're working on. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the treble crochet. Usually I don't go up 3 loops when I do trebles. It just really depends. But you can do 2 or 3 depending, but a treble is going to be taller than a double crochet. So for a treble or a triple, I know it's probably pretty annoying for me to say both, but I use them so interchangeably that I can't help it. So for that, we're actually going to yarn over twice. So you're going to go right to left all the way over, and then you're going to go around, and you're going to go right to left again. And we're going to go in the next stitch. And you guessed it, we're going to yarn over again, and we're going to pull through. So you have 4 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through just 2 loops. So now you have 3 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through 2 loops on your hook. You have 2 loops on your hook left, so you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through both of those loops. And you can see how that is taller than the double crochet. So I'm going to show you again. We're going to yarn over twice, all the way around, and then, so you're going to basically have 3, I guess, loops on your hook. I don't like really saying it like that, but so it goes all the way around the hook, and then you go right to left. You go through the next chain space or stitch, and then you're going to pull through, yarn over. Sorry, I'm skipping steps. You're going to yarn over, pull through, and now you have 4 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2 more, and you're going to yarn over and pull through the final 2. So you can see how these 2 are a different height than the previous 3. So if, actually, having 3 loops would build up that to make a height that is more even. So, as I say, not as I do. But also it's more exaggerated because I'm using such a large hook. So there's, if you're using a smaller hook, your stitches are gonna be smaller, your chains are gonna be smaller. So all of that is gonna take practice. I say, when you're looking for hook size, and you're starting with your different the different hooks you can have, I say go by project. Don't make what you want to make, not necessarily what the ball of yarn says, because it's more the project's gonna be more fitted. Like, let's say you're making a hat and it wants you to use a 5 hook, but this yarn says 5.5. I would go with the 5 hook. just because you're going to get the results that the pattern maker intended. So I hope that helps. That's the double and the triple / treble. And I hope you had a good time. So see you later. Bye.